Hey, Tammy Davis, thank you very much for joining me. I'm an internationally certified master clinical aromatherapist with a background in pharmacology, as well as the ongoing study of plant constituents as they relate to drug development. And the reason I'm doing this video today is because just last night I was watching a comedy act, and it so happens that the comedian was out of the UK, and she was basically making fun of the US health system. Now, ironically, there was an article this morning that I found out of the New York Times. It may not have been today, but it popped up on my server today, which had to do with the cost of healthcare in the United States being, almost double that of everywhere else around the world. And it comes down primarily to the cost of service. It's not because we're getting sicker, it's because they're charging more for their services. Now, even though we're not getting sicker, I find the way I kind of equaled this, or kind of made sense of it, if you will, was that we are managing our health issues through pharmaceuticals. And so when health is managed, there's an appearance that we are healthier. I don't believe that we're healthier. Unfortunately, and what this lady referenced last night in her act was that for every time, they come out with a new drug, they have to come up with a health condition that it's good for. And some of these things that I hear on commercials, it's just hard to fathom that somebody could actually listen to that and then go, yeah, that's my problem. And then we're constantly taking more and more medications. Now, the challenge that I have with this is not that I'm against medications, but it's the ongoing long-term use of medications. And at what point do we go, wait a minute, there has to be something more here? I'm going to, pardon me for just a moment, kind of get some air in here. So on that note, like I said, I'm really concerned because at some point somebody has to go, wait a minute, I've been living on these supplements or these medications or a combination of both for a very long time, and my health isn't getting any better. And that's where I come in. There's a lot of ways to use essential oils out there that can be found on websites and in books. But the fact is that there's an entirely different way to integrate them into our daily lives, no matter how many supplements and how many medications you take. Sometimes you wouldn't even need to take as much. But when we are looking at television commercials and are listening to commercials on the radio and saying, yeah, I have these symptoms, I need to take a medication for it, I realize that that's easy, and there's symptom relief, and in some regard, symptom relief is stress relief because the body is less taxed when it's not dealing with the discomfort. And at the same time, it's even more stressful to the system because the medication does not work with the system like a natural remedy is concerned. Now, before I got to doing this video, I was driving around and I had this thought that the conventional model is basically the means of addressing symptoms. And even natural remedies, even when we go for the natural approach, we're still just addressing the symptom. And it's compartmentalizing our health. And what I mean by that is I find it ironic that we talk about natural remedies as being holistic, but it's actually not treating the whole system. It's the purpose and intent is to regulate or control a very specific part of the body or system within the body. And that's compartmentalizing health. So it doesn't make any difference if you are using natural remedies and or combining it with pharmaceuticals. As long as you are targeting something specific, you are compartmentalizing health, and therefore it negates the whole holistic idea. Now, when we incorporate essential oils into the mix, and they're mindfully incorporated into how they are going to be processed in the system, you can actually create a very holistic integration that no longer just targets the system. That's the reason why I talk about stabilizing the immune system and stabilizing the hormonal system, because to do so actually incorporates a more holistic approach. Again, holistic health does not compartmentalize. And to put that another way, and I realize that sometimes the thyroid gland has problems and the adrenal, I understand that there are very specific issues that happen in the system. So I'm not saying don't look at the specific issues, but you just don't want to stop there. It's kind of like, I guess, everybody's sitting in their own room in a house, like somebody in the living room, somebody in the kitchen, somebody in the dining room, and each bedroom, and everybody's talking through the walls, but there's no togetherness. That's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like when we consistently compartmentalize our health issues and we're not creating a connection that helps to stabilize the system, you are continually perpetuating the isolation, and then the systems aren't talking. And I see this all the time when we put people on medications. Somebody will be on medication for depression, and then at the same time they may be on a high blood pressure medication, and then they may be on a diabetes medication. We are compartmentalizing the body, and what we want to do is tie it all together, create the connection, and this is where essential oils come in. And then again, if you also pair it with mindful use of foods, whole foods, not supplements, but actual whole foods. Occasionally I may make supplement recommendations, but primarily I'm looking at, really focusing on the digestive system and really creating a connection throughout the body so that every part talks to one another and we are actually enhancing our health. So, like I said earlier, this is a way of working with the oils that is not currently found in books and or websites, but I have started a group called Synergessence, but it's a closed group on Facebook, and the purpose for that is to begin a conversation with as many people that want to participate, and even who are willing to become specific about their health issues, so that we can talk about it in a public forum, so to speak, but it won't be searchable publicly. It'll remain private, but at least it'll be within a group that has agreed to safety and confidentiality, and we can begin to discuss how specific oils would work for that individual, so that I can not only guide people, on how to use essential oils, but begin to teach the bioindividuality and how to begin to intuitively identify what's best for you as we learn how these oils work together. And by doing so, I'm not saying that anybody would have to stop their medication or stop any supplementation. Eventually, the body will work its way down and you won't require as much, but it's not just a deliberate, we're going to quit everything here. This isn't to take anything from anyone. This is actually to enhance what you're currently doing, but using it in a way by using essential oils in a way that promises a better result. Because we are creating a true holistic foundation for the body to begin to recover and restore wellness. So I'm going to include the link in the description box below for that Synergessence group. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me at tammy@synergessence.com. You can follow me on Instagram at TammyDavis8, and you can also follow me on Twitter at TammyDavis8. I look forward to connecting with you, and thanks so much for watching. Have a great afternoon.